What's going on, guys? In this video today we're going to be discussing 5 tips on how to improve your snowmobile trail riding. The first tip is going to be to stay in control of your snowmobile at all times. You can do this by learning all of your sled's controls before you go on that trail ride. If you are a new rider or you're new to this snowmobile that you're going to be riding, you're going to want to inspect all of the controls, make sure that you know what controls and what buttons do what, and make sure you know how to properly operate the machine. This is a very important tip because if you're ever out there on the trails and a situation arises in which you must act fast, you do not want to panic and forget which buttons to press or not know which buttons to press. The general rule of thumb is that with your left hand you're going to be operating the brake, the hand warmers, the thumb warmers, and the starter. On your right hand you have the kill switch and the throttle. The second tip is to ride within your limits. So you're not there to impress people, you're there to have fun and be safe. So when you're on the trails, make sure that you do not try to keep up with people who have been riding for years and try to stay within your means. You do not want to exceed your comfort level or your abilities. So you have to allow your skills and comfort for riding to grow and your knowledge for snowmobile riding to expand. And the number one way to do this is with experience. The more you ride, the more you learn, the more you know. You can begin to push your limits once you are comfortable and have progressed to the point where you know you can once again push your capabilities. Whether you're riding with a friend or somebody who has years of riding experience under their belt, you're going to want to let them know that because you're a beginner, you're not going to try to keep up with them, you're going to ride your own ride. And this means that you ride to your capabilities, you ride your style, and you ride what you enjoy. You don't want to try to keep up with somebody just because they're going faster than you. The third tip is to wear proper gear. If you do not have the proper equipment, it will prevent you from riding to your full potential because you may be distracted from the elements of winter. Proper gear includes a helmet that has a heated visor, well-insulated gloves or heated gloves, wool socks or heated socks. Having cold hands and feet will distract you from concentrating on your ride. Having a helmet that does not include a heated visor will fog up and blur your vision. If you happen to not have a heated visor, you can always crack it open slightly, but this will expose your face to the cold weather. And if you have a windshield on your snowmobile like I do, a half windshield, all of the wind hits your chest and hits your face, so it gets pretty cold. For me, having heated gloves is an essential because my hands always get cold. This allows me to keep my hands in position and be prepared at all time. My right thumb on the throttle and my left hand ready to brake and use the other controls. Having a well-insulated jacket is just as important as having good gloves and good socks. For me, like I said before, having this half windshield, all the wind hits my chest, so a good jacket is important to me. My jacket, I have 509, but I also recommend BRP jackets and equipment. For the fourth tip, we're going to get a little bit more technical into actual riding skills. As a beginner, controlling your turns and learning how to turn might be difficult. When taking turns, you want to make sure to lean to the inside of the turn and transfer your weight into the corner. So this means that if you're turning left, you're going to want to lean to the left. If you're turning right, you're going to want to lean to the right. You're going to know if you're not transferring your weight properly because when you're taking sharp turns, you might find that the left ski will lift up or the right ski will lift up and you might flip over. Snowmobile trails tend to be narrow in some areas, so releasing the throttle a little bit before you approach the turn will help you greatly. The same goes for if you're riding with a passenger. The only difference is you will have to exaggerate the leans a little bit more. Because your passenger tends to be higher up, your center of gravity is higher up, therefore you and your passenger must lean to the same side simultaneously. There's been numerous times that I've been riding with friends, with passengers, and because their center of gravity was higher, they did not know that they needed to lean more, therefore they flipped over. The last and final tip, tip number 5, is to adjust your riding position. Your riding position will vary depending on the trails that you are riding and the conditions of those trails. When you are going faster on narrow trails, you tend to sit down so you can lean better with the machine and you are well and firmly planted. Oftentimes, you'll also find yourself having to stand up on bumpy trail conditions in order to absorb the impacts and be one with the machine. Your body and legs are just like the suspension of your snowmobile. When your suspension goes up and down, you're going to want to bend your legs and go up and down with the machine. This will ensure for a smoother and more fluent ride experience. No matter what you do or any position you are in, you're always going to want to keep a bend in your knees and your elbows, whether you are sitting down or standing up. This will overall improve your movement and control of the snowmobile.